Okay, so Richard, if you don't mind, I was chatting to a lot of our members, customers, and they fired a lot of questions at me about Creatine Plus, what it does, how it works. Can I literally rapid fire these questions at you?
Be my pleasure.
So the first thing that came up was from the ladies. They were, oh, isn't that something for men that are bodybuilders? So can you answer that question for me?
Yeah, that's probably not a rapid fire answer to that. So it goes back to the sort of the history of creatine research. That it was in the realm of the male bodybuilder, and the research at the time supported that. More recent research and emerging research showed that it's actually very beneficial for just about everybody. So it's very beneficial for, yes, the gym goer that wants to increase muscle mass, but it might actually be even more beneficial, to females, actually, because they have typically less muscle mass, less stored creatine. Actually, creatine may be more beneficial for your female distributors than it may be for the male distributors.
So that's really interesting, because that's something I wasn't aware of. Okay, so how are we supposed to take it?
So it mixes with anything. So you could take it in a glass of water, you can mix it with your F1, you could mix it into your recovery shake. The time of day doesn't really matter as long as you're taking it.
Okay, perfect. Does it taste of anything?
No.
Cool. So what happens if I'm vegetarian or vegan?
The product itself is vegan, and actually, because of the lack of creatine naturally in their diet, vegetarians and vegans, again, may benefit more from taking Creatine Plus than someone who has a lot of red meat in their diet, for example.
Okay. So some of the guys in my club do use this. They use a creatine product. Why would they use Creatine Plus as opposed to what they currently use? What are the perks and the advantages of this product?
Yeah, so Creatine Plus isn't just creatine monohydrate, it's also B vitamins and calcium. So B vitamins, for example, will help with energy yielding metabolism, calcium will help with bone health and various other processes in the body. So it's more than just creatine, hence the plus.
Right, so there's nothing like this on the market, right?
No.
This is a unique product. Okay, fantastic. Is there a better time of day when I should be taking this?
It is better just to fit it into your routine and take it and make sure that you're taking it every day.
Okay. So I'm jumping around with these questions because I literally got loads of them and I've just written them all down in my book here. Is it good for my brain?
Emerging research would suggest it's good for cognitive health. So yes.
Fantastic. So therefore, linking that to menopausal women, would this be something that would benefit me during menopause?
Yes, so for menopausal women, it may be very advantageous when combined with training to help protect what we call bone mineral density, or BMD. So preventing osteopenia, osteoporosis, so looking after your bone health.
Absolutely fantastic. And so as a woman, am I going to notice sort of benefits during my monthly cycle and things like that? Is this going to be something that would help me with that?
Yeah, what we'd expect to see is that during certain times in your cycle where energy would typically have been lower, those low points, you won't notice them or they won't be as prominent.
Okay, fantastic. So we've ascertained this is definitely a women's product, not just a men's product, which is fantastic. So when you first get started on this, we talked a little bit about the fact that you can just get started and gradually build it up. So we've got to build this up in our muscles, right? Yeah. Or if you're a more serious athlete, you can take it a little different. Do you want to just explain that?
Yeah, so we call it the initial phase. It's also known as the loading phase. And it's exactly as you said, this is a period of time where you're trying to maximize your muscle creatine stores. And this is typically around 20 grams a day for somewhere between 5 and 7 days. However, you can get to the same level of muscle saturation by taking 3 grams a day. It will just take longer. So it depends whether you're in a rush to maximize those stores or not.
Okay, and this is monohydrate.
Yeah.
So Talk to me a bit about that.
So monohydrate is the most well-researched type of creatine. There are other types of creatine out there. The research doesn't support them. They can often be more expensive and less efficacious, so less efficient. So yeah, creatine monohydrate is, as far as we could say, the gold standard of creatine.
Okay, so one of the questions I got was, how much of it should I take? So it says 3 grams. Can I take more?
Yeah, so the reason it's 3 grams is because the research supports that as the dose to take. So you get benefits, or most people would get some form of benefit from taking 3 grams a day. Now, of course, we need to be realistic about the type of person in terms of their size. So if you're a bigger person, you would technically probably want to take more creatine. If you're doing more strength training, again, you might want to take on board more creatine. Again, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you might want to go above the 3 grams per dose. It all depends on you as an individual. And of course, that's completely safe to do so. I've already discussed that initial phase where you would be taking almost 6 times as much. So it's absolutely fine to do so. It's just about working out what you need.
Okay, great. And talking about, I'm thinking of my typical clients, perhaps very busy, stressed, they don't get a lot of sleep because they've got kids and things like that. Could that person really benefit from this new product?
Yeah, so there's emerging research to show both improvements or benefits to cognitive health, but also in terms of people who are suffering from sleep deprivation or stress. So yes, so basically everybody. So there is some benefit to sleep, to attenuate the detriment of sleep deprivation or stress on cognitive health if you're taking creatine.
Okay, so a question I got from a lady in my club was, but I've heard if you take creatine, you can get weight gain, and she's worried about getting bulky. Like, is this going to be something that's going to give her like Popeye muscles?
Yeah, so creatine on its own will not increase your muscle mass. You need to do the training, and as we've discussed, it will help you to do potentially a little bit more training or recover more quickly from that training. It all depends on the type of training that you're doing, and actually trying to gain muscle mass is very difficult, and it often makes me chuckle when people say that, because actually if it was that good, people would take that and they wouldn't work out. So you do need to do the training. Important thing to note is that creatine can increase what we call the intracellular fluid in the muscle. So actually this is inside the muscle, so it actually makes the muscle look bigger or more pronounced. But again, this is a very, very, very insignificant increase, but you might have to bear that in mind when you're stepping on the scale, that you might have a slight increase in weight, but it's literally fluid and it's in the muscle. It's not water retention anywhere else. It's within the skeletal muscle, and it's only a very marginal amount, and it is.
So it's normal, it's to be expected, it's a tiny thing.
Yeah. You might not even, they might not even notice it. It can be that insignificant.
Okay, somebody asked me, are there any side effects?
No.
That was easy. Can you use it long term?
You can use creatine indefinitely.
Okay, perfect. I think possibly might be getting to the end of my list. Let's have a little look here. So give me, in a nutshell, why Creatine Plus?
It's one of the most well-researched ergogenic sports nutrition products on the market. It's got over 40 years of research behind it. It is safe, it is effective, it is great for physical, it has physical benefits, so in terms of training and recovery. It's great for women's health, and it's great for, with the emerging evidence, cognitive health as well. So basically, there's really no downside to taking it, only positives, and just about everybody should be taking creatine.
Brilliant. I'm going to go get me some Creatine Plus.
Me too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.